Shalom. Shalom to the brethren. And what up to everybody else? This is your op, Brandon Lewis. And this is the Lunar Solar Shabbat Scripture Study, where we search the Scriptures, looking for ways to apply them to life that we might become perfect. Too long have we read a scripture here and a scripture there, creating whole doctrine, never knowing the fullness of the context of those scriptures, the fullness and the context of those chapters and those books. And we have ignorantly made them say things that they did not say, made them intend things that they did not intend. May we now read them in the fullness, in the context that they were meant to be read in, and know what they were intended to teach us. May the Most High be with us as we read through His Word, as we place them in their proper context, the proper people in whom they were written about, and the proper time frames in which they were written about. This is the time of the rebuilding of the nation, not the rebuilding of temples made with men's hands, but the temples made with the hands and the ruach of the Creator of the heavens and the earth. May we be as we ought to be. May we know what we ought to know. May we have eyes that see. May we have ears that hear. May we build up what needs to be builded up. And may we tear down what needs to be torn down. Come together in love, peace, and unity of the brethren, of the mind, and of the heart. In the name of the Son, of the Creator of the heavens and the earth. Shalom.
God of the money hog mall.
For real.
7.
YOLO.
Dayton.
The real one. Yeah. It's Christ above everything, and in this ring, every swing is a bolo. Because Jesus got me more creased up than a cholo. So, bro, do not play me homo. By His blessing, I was yanked out of Lucifer's oppression. That's my YOLO. Used to take a zip on the trip, all by my dolo. Today, wonder how I'm making a band by going solo. Where I'm from, even though the powder is white, they call it cocoa. And if you're out of bounds, they get on your head just like a GoPro. Used to clap and squeeze out the stolo. I thank Him for salvation. If I was Japanese, I tell him domo. I was coming to America first to let my oats grow. Even though I put that semi to work, He made my soul glow. I'm from Sinner's Town, where daily the foe blow. And I've been around more KC than JoJo. About the Father business, hang with us, you cannot stand around no more. You are not in Kansas now, Toto. YOLO, yanked out of Lucifer's oppression. Oh no, Christians bring conviction to your section. Suggestion, let Christ give you new life. Alright. YOLO, yanked out of Lucifer's oppression. Oh no, Christians bring conviction to your section. Suggestion, let Christ give you new life. Alright. Yo,
Seb, I heard him say, when Dayton spits, he blacks out like when the breaker trips, snapping like the paparazzi's cameras when they taking flicks. But I liked him more when he was rapping on that gangster tip, not rapping about these ancient scripts of Christ, cause that just makes us sick. They would rather hear me viciously rip MCs, planting these kids with seeds of death that infect like a sick disease. They must have missed the memo. The new meaning of triple D is that Dayton is dead. It is over for him. He's history. So I was a slave in Lucifer's oppression, hanging from a noose in his possession, until Yeshua revealed his truth and cut me loose from his deception. It's a life I didn't choose. This was predestined. The Father opened my eyes, so bye-bye. He has cut all of my ties and saved me from the fall like a parachute in a skydive till I die. God has linked me up with these 5 guys. G-O-M and our connection stronger than your Wi-Fi. So bye-bye.
Yanked out of Lucifer's oppression. Oh no, the Christians bring conviction to your section. Suggestion, let Christ give you new life. Alright. Yo, no, yanked out of Lucifer's oppression. Oh no, the Christians bring conviction to your section. Suggestion, let Christ give you new life. Alright. We keep building children, so we stack it like a Lego. Jehovah is the captain, I get it cracking if we say so, but it's active. Where I'm at, boy, they'll cap you like a payroll. They spiritually dead, I guess I'm passing out some halos. Get your lasos, hog tongue your nasos. Streets of the forsaken on Dayton's, boy, I be skating like the lake froze. Beefing is for certain, cook my burger with some queso. Murk the wicked serpent, we ain't worshiping this pesos, yeah. Life's tough, I like it rough, just like a Sado. Masochist, no pacifist, I'm blasting at the Pharaoh. When I used to get keyed, I had to get the Mako. Put on the mind of Christ, now I'm matching wits with Play-Doh. H.O. GMOB, homie, this the take-o. Verily, occurrence is currently in your facial. I pray for the day, man, I can't wait for him to suffer. Yeah, I'm hateful, cause Satan is a sucker like fellatio. YOLO, yanked out of Lucifer's oppression. Oh no, the Christians bring conviction to your section. Suggestion, let Christ give you new life. Alright. Yo, no, yanked out of Lucifer's oppression. Oh no, Christians bring conviction to your section. Suggestion, let Christ give you new life. Alright.
My bad, y'all. I've been just talking. I forgot I had the mic muted. I didn't gave a whole spiel. What up, babe? I'm joined by my Isha, Uriah. I can't hear you now. You have to come off mute.
Because I'm muted.
So, as I was saying, uh, that we are going to be reading out of the books of Baruch and Jeremiah. Baruch 1 through 3 and Jeremiah chapter 29. Looking at the mindset of the Israelites in captivity and finding out what should our mindsets be in this captivity. I do believe Baruch and Jeremiah were in the same captivity. It's referring to the captivities of the Israelites to the Babylonians, also known as the Chaldeans, right? So we're going to look into that and also look into what the word captivity means, what it means in English and what it means in Hebrew or Abari or Ivrit, as some say. All right, so that's the plan for today, most high willing. And I hope you are able to be edified from this and get some knowledge and understanding and build it up where you need to be builded up, and certain things, certain doctrines, certain ignorances are torn down where they need to be torn down. So let's get right on into it. We're gonna hold on, I can't even see on the screen. Okay, there we go. We got action. All right, we're gonna get shared up with the book of Baruch, chapter 1. These are the words. Hold on one second. All right. Let's see if it's the screen I want to get into here. No. Yeah. Okay. These are the words of the book of Baruch, son of Neriah, son of Messiah, son of Zedekiah, son of Hasadiah, son of Hilkiah, wrote in Babylon in the 5th year on the 7th day of the month, at the time when the Chaldeans took Jerusalem and burned it with fire. Baruch read the words of this book to Yechoniah, son of Jehoiakim, king of Yehuda, and to all the people who came to hear the book, and the nobles, and the princes, and the elders, to all the people, small and great, all who lived in Babylon by the river Sud. Then they wept and fasted and prayed before the master. You know what's crazy about this? You know, everybody's coming together. These people have been robbed, killed, stolen off, taken out of their land and put in another land, right? And now all of a sudden it's easy for them to come together. Ain't nobody arguing. Ain't nobody worried about who got on what shoes, who got what, garment on and all this old stuff. They ain't worried about arguing with your wife, arguing with your husband, arguing with your kids. Ain't nobody listen. They want to know, man. They want some hope because it is so gloomy and so weary. Only thing they concerned about is coming out from under this bondage in which they have been put in, which they really have placed themselves in. And it's crazy to think that we might need that. You know why? Because we got too many things to worry about. Like I said, they not arguing husband and wife and husband, parents to children, children to parents, you know,
friend to friend and brother to brother, sister to sister. They not arguing. They coming together and they quiet, waiting to hear the words of the book. See, and that's how you get when the Most High brings a captivity upon you. He make you humble. And we sit in captivity, we ain't humble yet. Because they have given us, it's like in prison now. They got TVs, they got shoes. They even able to eat some food from out on the streets. They used to not give you fried food. Now in certain prisons, you can order fried chicken. In certain prisons, you could get, outside clothes brought in. So now it's like you in prison, but you don't feel as much in prison. And that's what they do to us. They give us nice jobs. They give us houses. They give us cars. And we in captivity. We in a foreign land, right? Being ruled by foreign powers and foreign ways. But we don't really feel that bad about it because we got something. Verse 5. Then they wept and fasted and prayed before the master. They collected as much money as each could give and send it to Jerusalem to the high Kohan Jehoiakim, son of Hilkiah, son of Shallum, and to the Kohanim, and to all the people who were present with him in Jerusalem. In the same time, on the 10th day of Sivan, Baruch took the vessels of the house of the master which had been carried away from the temple to return them to the land of Yehuda. The silver vessels that Zedekiah, son of Josiah, king of Yehuda, had made. King is also Malach of Yehuda had made. And after King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon had carried away from Jerusalem Jeconiah and the princes and the prisoners and the nobles of the people of the land and brought them to Babylon. They said, "Here, we send you money. So buy with the money burnt offerings and sin offerings and incense and prepare a grain offering and offer them on the altar of the master, our power." You notice they didn't do it there. They was in captivity. They didn't say, "We gonna build the altar right here and do it." They said, "We gonna send it to Jerusalem to the high Kohan to offer for us." You know why they gonna send it there? Because that's where you're supposed to offer it at. And I do believe this might have been a feast day. What month did they say it was? 10th day of Sivan. They don't specify the month, but either way, there's a difference between doing things for the Most High in a foreign land and doing it for him in the place he placed his name at. And we need to also learn this today, right? But also here we have this mindset of paying a thing to get out from under something instead of being what he's asked us to be, which is why he punished us. He didn't punish them for not offering sacrifices. He punished them for not having the conduct and the character in which they were supposed to have towards each other and towards him and towards other nations. They didn't have it, so he punished them. So now they say, well, we gonna send these offerings. Even today, we gonna return to the law and the law, statutes, and commandments. Meanwhile, not possessing the character, not possessing the virtuousness that we are supposed to have. Right? This has always been paramount about this podcast, about scriptures in general,
It's always been a code of conduct. It's always been a certain way in which we ought to live, which we ought to carry ourselves, that's been called and that we have strayed from and ran from and ventured off to the right and to the left. And this is part of what the people are missing, is that your sorrow ought to be for your actions. We have transgressed. We have done this. We have done this. And we're going to correct it in our ways. Not so much in thinking, oh, let's get all this money together. Let's get all the offerings together. Let's go make these offerings. Now, granted, that was a part of it. That was a part of it because you were supposed to lose something for your transgressions, right? It was supposed to cost you something. So the goal was just like with the lamb, with the Passover lamb. You were supposed to take a newborn lamb, raise it up in your house, feed it. You personally feed it for a year. And then you take that animal that's been nice, that's been kind, that's been gentle, that you've been feeding, you're supposed to take it and kill it as a way to get forgiveness for your sin. You're supposed to lose something, and you were supposed to correlate, like, dang, man, that's cold. Like, man, I shouldn't even, like, maybe I ought to quit sinning because I've been killing lambs every year. See, we never correlated this stuff. We never really got the get right. As a nation, we can't get right. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that can't get right. We're a nation that can't get right. And that's a problem. That's a problem. Babe, you got something on that?
Not right now.
All right. Kafa said, where's the sound? Y'all can't hear me now?
It's old.
Oh, okay. But yeah, man, hit that like button, share and subscribe. So, we have these same issues today. Like you said, I have not commanded sacrifice, but obedience. Obedience to what? Obedience to what I told you to do. And we have the same problems today. We'll say, oh, we being obedient to keeping feast days. We being obedient to wearing fringes. That's what they said. We gonna take these offerings because it's in the law that when certain things happen, you do this. You know what? That's secondary. It's secondary. Wearing fringes to remind you of the covenant, to remind you of the laws, statutes, and commandments. You know when you don't need reminding? When you remember. You know what I'm talking about? When you remember, you don't need to be reminded. Okay? When you don't sin, you don't need a sin offering. It don't get more plain Jane than that. It don't get more plain Jane than that. But let's continue on. Hold on here. Talking about captivity today. This is the word for captivity. Shabi. Shabi. We're going to get into it later. I clicked on the wrong thing. Let me get back over here. Oh, y'all didn't even see that. Y'all didn't see that. So hold on. Let me show it to you real quick. Let me show it to you so you can see. So you can see it. We're going to get into the word of Shabi. It's the Hebrew word for captivity. Right? We're going to look into that just a little bit later. But right now, we're still reading in Baruch chapter 1 at verse 10. They said, here, we send you money. So buy with the money burnt offerings and sin offerings and incense, and prepare a grain offering and offer them on the altar of the master our power. And pray for the life of King Nebuchadnezzar. Listen, hey, pray for him. Keep them together. Of Babylon, and for the life of his son Belshazzar, so that their days on the earth may be like the days of Shemaim. The master will give us strength and light to our eyes. You know, the scripture says to pray for a city, right? You have to understand that powers come from the Most High. And it's hard for us now in this world of, F them, forget them, they gonna mistreat me, they gonna do me wrong, they gonna do all this stuff. You have to understand, the Most High said that all will be well with the righteous, but with the wicked it is not so. That means whatever ruling power or authority that might come into play because of the transgressions of the people, they are there because of the people that transgress. They are not there for the people who are righteous. We see this in the scripture. We see this with Daniel. He was one of the people enslaved, but because he was a righteous man, he was not in slavery. He was only captive to the point of he was not in his own land, but he was not bound in heavy bondage by way of the light that was in him being uncondemnable even to his enemies. It said, if a man live in a way that is pleasing unto the master, even his enemies shall be at peace with him. Do you believe it or don't you? Why are you catching hell from your enemies? You must not be living in a way that's pleasing unto the Most High. Now, granted, serving the Most High is going to bring a certain amount of enemies, right? It's going to bring a certain amount of condemnation, a certain amount of hate, right? But this is what we got to understand, is that there will be no truthful, okay, mind you, no truthful condemnation coming from them people. If it be any kind of conflict, any kind of naysaying, it's going to be 100% false and made up. Like they did with a Mashiach. They couldn't condemn his character. They made far-fetched guesses and hyperboles and all this old stuff. They had nothing factual, nothing concrete to say against this man. Same thing happened with the apostles when they got brought up before magistrates. The people had no concrete evidence against them. They made up lies. And they couldn't even stand in judgment. They had to go and take them to somebody else and try to lie to them to get them to make the final call. Because they said, you take them, we can't kill them in our land. It's against our law to do. Right, because you ain't got no proof. But you want to try to go around. That's why it said there's only one way to enter in, through the gate. That's straightforward. Anybody come up any other way is a liar and a thief. And that's what these people that convict you wrongly will be. Liars and thieves. You know what the problem is? Most of the time, they don't be wrong and they don't be lying. It be true. You really do be wrong. You really do be off. You really do be given to a false way. And that's what we got to correct, brethren. I don't come to condemn. I come to cause you to consider. Right? Not only you, but myself. And I give it as the Most High Yah gives it unto me. I'm a man of low understanding, from low and humble beginnings. Anything I know is because the Most High Yah have seen fit to allow me to understand it. So much so to even speak it to you. Right? So this mindset about King Nebuchadnezzar and these people praying for him, that's another semblance of the humility that they have gotten. Because what's crazy is that the Most High told them, don't fight against this man. When this man come against y'all, give up and go into captivity willingly, and I'm going to bring you out. You know what they did? They said, no, we hear you, but we going to fight anyway. And they called themselves trying to build an army against this man. And they lost. And because they lost, he burned the city down. And when he burned the city down, he took them into captivity, like the Most High told them they was going to go into captivity if they rebelled. He went into the word rebellion last week, right? So now they went from that mindset, forget what the Most High say, forget what his prophets say, what his Nabi say, right? Forget that. We gon' do what we want to do. We Yasharal, we strong, we mighty, forgetting the one that made them strong, that made them mighty, right?
They took it into their own mind, into their own heart, and thought that and imagined themselves to be Elohim. Ooh, dangerous, very dangerous. As we see, because we see now they ain't bold no more. They ain't cocky no more. Now they want to come together, quiet, humble, meek, hold hands and pray. You know, before they ain't have no money for the Most High. They ain't have no offerings to give. Now, hey, listen, everybody, give me what you got. Give me what you got for a lamb chop. You know what I'm talking about? We need to go get these offerings to the Most High so he could have some kindness for us. You see? Let's not be like our forefathers, brethren. We kings, we queen. We the people that played around and was cocky and was haughty to the Most High, put us in the place where we like, please help us. We sorry. We didn't mean it. Maybe he'll show favor. The Most High really told them people, don't fight this man. I'm punishing you for what you've done. He's coming. I called him. He's my servant. I called him and he's coming. He's going to take over. Don't fight him. Go willingly. They fought against him anyway, lost. Now they in captivity. Now they praying for the man, praying for his health and his shalom. Okay? And the health and the shalom of his son. You late. You late. You should have prayed for his health and shalom when I told you to go serve the man. But this is our people, though, man. This is our people. And we still the same. We still the same to this day. Right? What we got going on here? Let's get back on into it. 13. Pray also for us to the master our power, for we have sinned against the master our power, and to this day the anger of the master and his wrath have not turned away from us. Why? Because we didn't listen. Disobedience, rebellion, stubbornness, witchcraft. Right? We turn from our Rosh, from our head, from our leader, from that which is important. We turn from it. Pray also for us to the master our power, for we have sinned against the master our power, and this day is anger. The anger of the master and his wrath have not turned away from us. And you shall read aloud this scroll that we are sending you to make your confession in the house of the master on the days of the festivals and at appointed seasons. You know what they didn't say? We gonna read it for our festivals. You read it at your festivals there. We gonna read it at our festivals here. No, they not having no festivals in Babylon, brethren. And you shall say, the master our power is in the sight, is in the right. But there is open shame on us today, on the people of Yehuda and on the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and on the king, and on our kings, our rulers, our priests, our Nabi, and our ancestors. Because we have sinned before the master, we have disobeyed him and have not heeded the voice of the master our power to walk in the statutes of the master that he set before us. From the time when the master brought our ancestors out of the land of Egypt, of Mizraim, until today, we have been disobedient to the master our power, and we have been negligent. It's godless, right? We have been negligent, irreverent in not heeding to his voice. You know what's crazy? We'll read all of that and we'll agree that as a nation of people, we've done this. But we fail to correlate the fact them people been killed, murdered, starved, all kinds of affliction because of those characteristics. Those characteristics got them starved to death, diseases, sicknesses, pestilences,
placed on them. This is before the captivity, mind you. Okay, this is in the time frame of the war that they hoped to win. Then they lost it. Then they went into slavery for having the same characteristics we said we got. And we think everything gonna be well with us. I mean, I just don't. We gotta put these things into correlation, people. You know, this when the Christian to back off some of this stuff. You see, that's not my God, my Lord. See, see, then they don't. Everybody want to be a nigga. Don't nobody want to be a nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's one of them things. You know, they want to fit all the beautifulness, his unchanging hand, and all this. They down for that. But when it comes to the punishment for the transgression of the laws, of the commandments, hey, see, that's that Mosaic. You know, that's that Mosaic law. It was hung on the cross and all this old stuff. No, Christian, no, heathen. You got to eat the whole scroll. Don't be over trying to eat a little corner. You got to get the whole thing in there, right? 20. So to this day, there have clung to us the calamities and the curse that the master declared through his servant Moshe. Hey, man, listen, they don't want to, hey, Christians, you know, fly by night, fair weather believers and all this old stuff, Catholics and all this stuff. They don't want to talk about the calamities that come because it never changed. You think because his son came, it changed. Because his son came, now it get worse. Because his son then offered you a way out in the latter days without the altars, without the sacrifices, without the priesthood, without the land. His son gave you a way that you could come in that way. Granted, you're going to still have another level of persecution. Because now you got to dial into yourself. Now all them characteristics that the majority of the people never was able to get. They was never able to get the fruits of the Ruach. Now you got to have them. Okay? But he didn't give you a helper. He didn't give you a comforter to get it. So now for you not to get it, it's even worse. That's what Paul said. How much worse of a punishment is you going to get now that you done crucified the son anew? So don't run now. Don't run now. Double down. Get in it. Okay, the water's warm. Why he gave us a comforter? Why he gave us a helper? See, everybody want to go to heaven. Don't nobody want to die. Not only physically, but emotionally. Because that's what a lot of this stuff is, emotion. When you get into the fruits of the flesh, it's all emotional. Right? And the fruits of the Ruach really is emotional as well, but it's paired with spiritual or with Ruachni. But it's really all the same thing. Perception, how you see things. Okay? When you're in darkness, you ain't gonna believe it. You see things darkly. When you're in light, you see them in the light. Everything's beautiful, joy, gladness of heart. When you're in darkness, everything, woe is me. You know? And that's the thing about it, man. So Christian, get yourself together, man. Don't be running from the belt. Just be righteous and upright. And don't be thinking because of the kindness and the favor, or as you say, the grace and mercy of the Most High. Don't be thinking you got all this leave to do all this other stuff and try to claim Christianity and try to claim the Son. You think Hamashiach give you a cloak for your wickedness? He said if I had not came, you would have had some, but I came. You know what I'm talking about? He came. Now you ain't got none. Right? So to this day, there have clung to us the calamities and the curse of the master declared through his servant Moshe at the time when he brought our ancestors out of the land of Egypt to give to us a land flowing with milk and honey. See, that's that gift. that you've been given, even in your wickedness, and you're going to defile it. That's a Mashiach. Hamashiach is the gift given, even in your wickedness. It's meant for your tube. It's meant for your righteousness, but you're going to abuse it. You're going to abuse it, you know. And you know what's coming behind that? The punishment. Because, you know, from the punishment going to come the consideration. From the punishment going to come the humility. We're going to read in chapter 2. In the land of their captivities, they shall bethink themselves. They're going to get themselves together. We did not listen to the voice of the Master, our power, and all the words of the Nabi, whom he sent to us. But all of us followed the intent of our own wicked hearts by serving other powers and doing what is evil in the sight of the Master, our power. Wow. Get into this chapter 2. Let's see what we got going on over here. Who over here? All right. Babe, you got something? Oh, I'm sorry, babe. I didn't see you down there. What you got for us?
I said I'm just listening right now. I mean, you're
Huh?
elaborating. I said you're elaborating. There's nothing for me to say.
All right. Baruch chapter 2. So the master carried out the threat he spoke against us, against our judges who ruled Yasharal, and against our kings, and our rulers, and the people of Yasharal and Yehuda, under the whole Shemaim. There has not been done like of what he has done in Jerusalem in accordance with the threats that were written in the law of Moshe. Some of us ate the flesh of their sons, and others the flesh of their daughters. You know what he didn't say right there? At that point, he didn't say, or should ever happen again. He didn't say it. It's not there. He said it's never happened before. He didn't say it was going to never happen again. Because it did happen again in the Roman invasion. Some of us ate the flesh of our sons, and others the flesh of their daughters. He made them subject to all the kingdoms around us, to be an object of scorn and a desolation among all the surrounding peoples where the master has scattered them. They were brought down and not raised up because our nation sinned against the master, our power, in not heeding his voice, brethren. We got to take a moment on that one, right? His voice. Mashiach, or quote unquote Christ, said, my sheep know my voice. They hear my voice. You know, in order for them to know it, they got to hear it. In order to hear it, they got to know it. Question is, can you hear it? Do you know it? Do you know it? And can you hear it? And then after you hear it, know it, then you got to heed to it. That's why I said, why do you say that you love me, that you ahab me, right? And don't do as I say. Why do you say you love me and you don't heed my voice? Heed my instructions, my corrections, my rebukes. Why you don't listen? Yet you say you love me. And that's not just with the Most High and with Hamashiach. That's with relationships. Would you think somebody respected you if you told them to do something and they heard you and didn't do it? Does that sound like respect? Does that sound like care, love, affection? And the Most High is not even the type to only have one witness. It ain't one time you didn't do it. You don't never do it. You don't never listen. Or you hardly ever, barely ever. And if you do listen, you don't even listen in context. True enough, I told you to bring offerings, but offerings for your sin. You know what I told you first? Don't sin. So you say, I'm bringing you offerings. You still sinning. So you're not doing what I tell you because you're still sinning. And I told you don't do that first. What you going to bring a sin offering and you ain't sinning for? See, don't nobody got context now. Don't nobody understand. Now everybody wanna be boo-boo the fool. Oh, we gonna keep your feast day. I told you to keep it in the land. Well, we ain't got no land. Well, I guess you ain't supposed to be keeping it then, is you? You know what I'm talking about? You ain't got no land for a reason. You know you got it for a reason, don't you? You know you ain't got it because I took it from you. Okay? So if I took it from you, what you think that meant? If I said, do it here, and I make it to where you can't do it there, guess what that means? When I took it, you ain't gonna believe what I thought. When I took it, I thought, I don't want you keeping it. I don't want you doing it. That's why I'm taking it. Because you're defiling it. And I don't want you defiling it. I mean, come on now. Let's get some context. Let's get some context in this. And quit thinking we could take something that he took and play with it when he didn't give us the permission to. I don't know how many ways I could say this stuff, man. Calm down. Some people don't see because they don't want to see. You understand? Some people just don't want to see at all. They ain't blind because they ain't got eyes. They blind because they won't open them. Okay. Verse 6. The master our power is in the right. He said it twice. Second time he just said second witness. He's in the right. Everything you've done, you did it rightly. We deserve it. We definitely deserve it. And that's the mindset we got to get to. And quit pointing the finger. That's what he said in Isaiah 58. I want to say 59. One of them. He said that you stop pointing the finger without. Stop pointing the finger without. And if you can't point it without, you know where you got to point it. You got to point it within. You know what I'm saying? It's not their fault. It's my fault. It's our fault. Why you doing all this stuff? It's because of the Esau. It's Esau's fault. No, it's our fault. Okay? He said, you do what I command you to do this day, you shall be the head and not the tail. We subservient to the other nations. You ain't gonna believe who was in the wrong. Oh, see, they in the wrong because you know they the head and and we the tail. Come on, man. You know, you got to get yourself together. You know, things ain't going well for me. I mean, hey, you gotta be doing something wrong somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You got to be doing some wrong somewhere, or there is something in which you are being shown, or places you being guided, and you need to get that understanding. So your perception should change from things ain't going well for me, and change to the point of the Most High is dealing with me right now on a thing, right? So it changes from being a woe is me to being a what are you trying to show me? What would you have me to do that this situation that is at the moment to my discomfort? You know what I'm talking about? It's to my discomfort. I don't really like it. You know what I'm saying? But it happened for a reason. So what are you trying to show me by it? See, it's all about perception. It's all about emotion. Is your emotions in the positive or is your emotions to the negative? Right? Because if they ain't to the positive, you're drunken, right? And you know we ain't supposed to be drunken. It's supposed to be sober minded, right? So if your mindset goes to being constructive and being methodic, right? This mean this and that mean this and this mean this, and you start to work towards a goal or work towards an end, a righteous end, right? Then you are sober minded. But if you just woe is me, I don't know why it's all going bad. It's all then you, my friend, my brother, my sister, are drunk. You know what I'm talking about? Drunk as a skunk. And that ain't good for nobody. It ain't good for you. It ain't good for nobody around you. Nobody likes dealing with a drunk person. Okay? You don't even like being drunk. You don't like the effects that come with the drunkenness. You're gonna have a headache. You might, have an accident. You might trip, fall, hurt yourself. And all manner of bad things happen to a person that's drunk. And you know why? Because they're not focused. Right? They can't maintain their modesty. That's what strong drink, strong whatever, strong emotion. So let's just consider these things. Verse 7, all those calamities with which the master threatened us have come upon us. Hey, listen, he's just. He's just to do what he said. He just to do what he said. You better believe it. Yet we have not entreated. Oh, man. Oh, man. This right here. You got to put it on the t-shirt. It said all this stuff didn't happen. It said, and all of it happened for a reason. And the Most High ain't did nothing wrong in doing it. He said, because you know why he did it? Because we didn't do what he said. And he said, not only did we not do what he said, listen to verse 8, yet we have not entreated the favor of the master. How? By begging and pleading, by praying, by worshiping. That's what people doing today. Let's have a gathering. Let's fast and pray and worship. That ain't what he's talking about. That ain't what he said do. That ain't what he said do. You know what I'm talking about? That ain't what he said do. You ought to do that anyway. You know what I'm saying? On the general. You should worship him because he's worthy, right? You should pray to him and pull out to him so you can have a relationship in general. That ain't got nothing to do with your punishment, right? If you truly doing them things, you shouldn't be in trouble no way. You know what I'm talking about? If you're really doing it, if you're really reverencing him, ain't no sin to account for no way, because you should be on point. But when you ain't on point, oh, that ain't gonna help you no way. You just got to get on point. You just got to obey. Trying to skip and hop all around stuff and try to make stuff sound sweet and sound smooth because they pull on heartstrings. You out here trying to play on emotion. You out here doing witchcraft. Trying to appear as something as though you're not. Because people like that kind of stuff. This is what we got to do right here. By turning away, each of us, from the thoughts of our wicked hearts. Whatever wickedness we doing, we got to stop. That's how we entreat for his favor. Oh, I'm gonna fast for 7 days. And get up and be the same sinner. Oh, we gonna have a worship festival. And come back home and be the same sinners. It ain't gonna do you no good. Yet we have not entreated the favor of the master by turning away each of us from the thoughts of our wicked hearts. Verse 9, and the master has kept the calamities ready, and the master has brought them upon us. For the master is just in all the works that he has commanded us to do. He said he ain't told us to do nothing wrong. What's wrong with these Christians out here, man? And these people that don't understand the word. Talking about the law. The law was this, it was that. He said the Most High ain't told us to do nothing wrong. That man ain't told you to do nothing wrong by helping your neighbor. That man ain't told you to do nothing wrong by paying a man what you owe a man. And if you hurt a man's stuff, go pay him double. He ain't told you nothing wrong. Man, these people crazy, man. These people crazy. This is what the word say. The master is just in all the works that he has commanded. He ain't suggest, hey, it'll be a good idea if you treat your brother right. You know what I'm saying? If you owe him, you pay him. Don't put no heavy, hard burdens on him. If he come and he serve you right, do you right, man, pay that man. If he come and he asks for repentance, man, forgive that man. Every time he got the mind to come to you for repentance. You got people out here, want forgiveness, remorseful for it. You know what? They're not forgiving them, but they'll go and have a great worship and a great prayer and a great assembly in a congregation. Whole time, they not forgiving those that seeking forgiveness. 7 times 7. And they think they do all of him a service. Telling you, man. Yet we have not obeyed his voice. Verse 10. Yet we have not obeyed his voice to walk in his statute, to walk in the statutes of the master that he set before us. And now, O master, power of Yasharal, who brought your people out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand and with signs and wonders and with the great power and outstretched arm, and made yourself a name that continues to this day. We have sinned. We have been ungodly or irreverent. We have done wrong. Our master, our power, against all your ordinances. Let your anger turn away from us, for we are left few in number among the nations where you have scattered us. Hear, O master, our power and our supplication, and for your own sake deliver us and grant us favor in the sight of those who have carried us into exile. He said, be a sign and a wonder amongst them. You see how it's correlated that us being freed is first into the sight of our enemies. It's first to the sight of our enemies. And this is why we in this dispensation now of having to have the fruits of the Ruach. It's always been, right? Lacking the fruits of the Ruach is what brought captivity upon us. But now, there is no need, because he brought them out of this. He brought them out of this captivity, put them back in the land. You know what? They went back contrary. You know what I'm talking about? They went back contrary. Right? That's when the Persians came and the book of Daniel and all that. No, Daniel is Nebuchadnezzar. I'm talking about what's the boy? Nehemiah and all that. He's in the Persian. Right? That's when you get Esther, Queen Esther and all that. That's the Persian captivity. Right? They got under another rulership, under another bondage. Right? Because we never could really get ourselves right. We never was justified in the things we asked for. We asked for land. We asked for sovereignty. We asked for rulership. We didn't deserve it. We want to be the head and not the tail without doing what he say. He said, you do what I say, I make you the head, not the tail. We say, hey, listen. We your seed. We your sons. We your wife. You ought to give it to us because we us. You know what I'm talking about? We us. They say, I'm me. What do you mean? I'm me. No, it don't work that way. See, we want him to be like us. We'll do something like that. We'll give somebody something for the sake of something. He don't move like that. He said, you know what? I know how to get you. Don't worry about it. I know how to get you to listen. You know how to get you to listen? I'm gonna put you in captivity. Then you're gonna come together with arms wide open. You know what I'm talking about? Like you Creed or somebody. You know, under the sunlight. That's what you're gonna be. That's how I get you. You don't want to listen? I got something for you. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. And you know what's crazy? We not listening now. Myself, other brothers come out. We see the stuff going on in Yasharal. We're not happy with the stuff going on in Yasharal. We come, we make videos, we preach, we prophesy to the wind, we do all this stuff, man, because we still messing up. And if for some reason in our mind, we don't think he got some more captivity left in his bag. We don't think he got some more punishment and destruction left in his bag. Now, granted, don't confuse. This whole great tribulation thing and all this old stuff, man. Listen, a lot of that stuff is out of context. But what I do believe in is that those people that refuse, there are people that's returning, right? But for those of us that are returning, we're not happy with just us returning. We want to turn and lift our brethren. That's what we're talking about. Now, some of you gonna listen and learn and come in, but some people ain't gonna listen, and we're gonna get to see their destruction. And that destruction is gonna be confused with, oh, it's the great tribulation. Oh, it's the 7 years of this and all this stuff. No, man, this is the purging of the rebels. Them people that was who was stubborn and rebellious. They were immovable from their wicked ways, immovable from their sin. They being destroyed. Okay. And it's gonna have to follow the same thing. You know how the Most High's judgment come? It come with starvation. It come with being killed, murdered. Okay, you're not talking about dying in your sleep. Murdered. That's when somebody aggressively takes your life. Okay, this is the Most High's mighty hand. Okay, his hand only come two ways. It comes in salvation and it comes in destruction. So when a group of people being led off to salvation into the land and to a place without walls, because they ain't gonna need walls. You understand me? They're gonna dwell in peace forevermore. Others gonna be led off into destruction on earth and in the Ruach world and in the world to come. So that's what we got. Hey, right and left. You have before you Tube and Rasha. You know what I'm talking about? Life and death. Good and evil before you. Choose you this day whom you gonna serve. Because that's what you gotta look forward to. You want to talk about, the Antichrist. Now, if you got these negative characteristics in you, you Antichrist. Because you got to put words in the context. What does Christ mean in Hebrew? Mashiach. What do you mean? The anointed, the anointed savior of a people, right? That's what a Messiah is. That's what Mashiach is, right? And then when you put Mashiach Yahusha, you put Yah's anointed salvation of his people. And what was his message? His message was that a man has to be born again. But he said, how can I go back into my mama? I can't go back to my mama. I'm a grown man. He said, no, you got to be born again of the Ruach HaKodesh. And how you going to get the Ruach HaKodesh or the Holy Spirit? How you going to get it? You got to clean your temple out. You got to clean out all them negative characteristics, all the hate, all the envy, all the malice, all the fruits of the flesh. And then you got to replace it. Replace it with what? You got to replace it with the fruits of the Ruach, the fruits of the Spirit. Okay? That is how you die to yourself. You know why? Because my old self was this. My old self was hateful. It was mean. It was this. It was that. It was the third. My new self is going to be this, the opposite of that. So I got to die so that I can live. So that is Yah's salvation, that a man might die to himself, to the adversarial characteristics, and take on his characteristics. That is Yah's salvation. That's what you got to believe in. Not some name, but what the name means and what the name brought. You don't even know what the name means. You're running around praising some lily-haired, blue-eyed white man in a picture, and then you got others worshiping some Afro bronze man in the picture. It ain't about the picture. It ain't about the image. It's about the character, the virtue. What's the virtue of that white man that you know of? I said, you don't know nothing about no Yahushua Mashiach. You know Jesus Christ. That's why we do away with the whole thing, the Christ and the Jesus. Some people throw away with the Jesus and keep the Christ. Now, I don't want none of that. You know why? Because it's connected to them characteristics. Yahushua Mashiach ain't connected to them characteristics of that white boy. You don't know nothing about the melanated one. You don't know about his character. You don't know he ain't gonna pardon your transgressions. You don't know he got a firm hand. You don't know he kill as much as he a Hobbs. It's the lamb. It's the lamb. It's the lamb. You know at the end of the book he ain't the lamb no more, don't you? You know he changed his name. You know why? Because he changed his job. See, he was to be a lamb. He was to be the sacrifice. That was a forerunner for us to understand we got to be lambs. We got to be a sacrifice. To who? To the people that surround us. We die to ourselves so that they can be saved. Because they're going to say, you know what? So-and-so used to be a drug dealer. Used to be, she used to be a prostitute. Used to be this, used to be that. That person died. Now they're a new person. Now they're a new creature. You say, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it. So now you done become Mashiach. You done been y'all salvation appointed in their rights. Man, told I y'all, man, this thing's going. Woo, this thing is going another way. I don't know where this came from here. Just give y'all a round of applause there. All right, y'all. All right. I feel like I'm in the pulpit up at Ebenezer Baptist Church or something. I need somebody to give me a napkin and some water. But anyway, 15. So that all the Israelites may know that you are the master, our power, for Yasharal and his descendants are called by your name. Oh, master, look down from your Kadash dwelling and consider us. Incline your ear, O master, and hear. Open your eyes, O master, and see. For the dead who are in Hades, whose ruach has been taken from their bodies, will not ascribe esteem or justice to the master. He said, that thing. He said, man, listen, them people gone. Said they can't do nothing. He said, we here. Help us. We're alive and still with you. We can do something. Help us. We can't do nothing if you kill us. Hey, man, that's cold. Like, we can't do nothing if you kill us, man. It's a whose ruach, the dead who are in Hades, whose ruach has been taken from their bodies, will not ascribe esteem or justice to the master. But the person who is deeply grieved, that's what's wrong with you. You ain't grieved. You ain't grieved with your actions. You ain't grieved with the turn of events. See, you got a false sense of contentment. You're content in wickedness. Okay, it said, but the person who is deeply grieved, who walks bowed and feeble, with failing eyes and famished souls, will declare your esteem and righteousness, O master. Ask yourself, are you grieved? Are you bowed? Are you feeble? You got fallen eyes and a famished ruach? Huh? It said this person will declare your esteem in your righteousness. What? You talk about you kings and queens. Say heavy is the head that wear the crown. Is your head heavy? You don't know nothing about no heavy. You don't know nothing about no heavy. For it is not because of any righteous deeds of our ancestors or our kings that we bring before you our prayer for kindness, O master, our power. And I changed these words too. Lord God, I changed that because it's all connected to the same folly. You don't know nothing about no master. You don't know nothing about no Most High because you talk about Lord God. And you think just how you was able to play in Christianity with the Lord God and the Jesus Christ and all this old stuff, you think you do all the service. I'm telling you, Yahushua Mashiach, Yahusha, and Yahuwah, they don't play them games. Okay? The mighty master don't play them games that the Lord play. Okay? They don't. We're talking about context. We're talking about how people use them. They used to hearing certain terms where they feel comfortable. You're gonna talk about Jesus, they be like, okay, yeah, Jesus, yeah. You say Yahusha, they like, huh? What? Yeah, I'm talking about. Get right. Pep up when his name come. You know what? People play with Jesus and all this stuff. They play with the name. They play with it. They make jokes. They do all this old stuff. They don't play with Yahushua. They don't play with Yahuwah. They don't play with that now. People go talking about God, yeah. They play all kind of games. You go to hit them with the Hebrew and the Abri, they back down. Every knee shall bow. They. I don't really know about that to be playing with that, so I ain't gonna play with that. Yeah, don't. You do well. You have well said. I'm talking about you have well said. Let me see if my baby's still in there. Still in there? She ain't. She dropped down. Come on in here. Let's see here. We got some comments. Shout out to my sister, my brother in the building. I said, well said. Bring it out. Them people crazy. He said, I'm me. Yeah, that's right. That's how they talk. Hey, man, y'all can come on in here if you want. I sent you the link out if you're feeling froggy. Come on in. But until the end. Get back into this thing. For you have sent your anger and your wrath upon us, as you declared by your servants, the Nabi, saying, thus says the master, bend your shoulders and serve the king of Babylon. That's what he told him, man. I ain't lying to y'all. But it's in the 66. I think it's in like Jeremiah or something. I think it's in Kings too. I think it's in like 2 Kings, where he told them, don't rebel against the king of Babylon. He coming. He's gonna get you. You know, he gonna get you because I made him to get you. Okay, he ain't the king. He the king so he can get you, and he coming and he getting you. That's crazy how the Most High set stuff up to where it ain't no way out for you, but by what he said. That's crazy, and we still a fight. How the creator of everything tell you, listen, don't do this because you're not gonna win. We the kind of people, apparently, historically, ancestrally, we the kind of people that said, I hear you, but you know what I'm talking about? I know you created the heavens and the earth. I know you the reason why I'm me and why them are them and they are they. I understand that, but this other way, right? Still doing the same thing Eve said. Same thing Eve did. Hey, listen,
Excuse me.
Oh, shit, babe, I forgot you. I thought somebody was in this house with me. Cause I have. Oh man, what's going on, man? What you got for us? Come on.
Check the messages I was trying to tell you. Can you not show the screen? Like everybody could see what I'm saying to you. So.
Oh, yeah.
Good thing it wasn't anything I didn't care for.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Come on in. All right. Dang, your voice threw me off. I thought somebody was in this house. Oh man, I thought I was here by myself. But I mean, I am still. My voice threw me. All right, let's go back to 20. Go back to 20. For you have sent your anger and your wrath upon us, as you declared by your servants to not be, saying, thus says the master, bend your shoulders and serve the king of Babylon, and you will remain in the land that I gave to your ancestors. He was telling them, if you bow down, he's not going to take you to these other lands. You going to serve him in the land. So they done made a punishment get worse by thinking they could make it better. That's why you got to follow instruction and quit adding to. Because you're going to make something that you think you don't like. You think you don't like it how I'm giving it to you. But when you go against what I'm giving, you ain't going to like it even more. See, now he said it. He said, I'm going to heat it up 7 times 7. Okay, you ain't like it on level 1, I'm put on level 2 for you. You don't like 2, I got 3. You don't like 3, I got 4. You don't like 4, I got 5. You don't like 5, I got 6. I'm gonna tell you something. When we get to 7, ain't no more you. You know what I'm talking about? And That's what we're working on, really. We really at about 6.5, right? About. Ain't no more sacrifices left to give, brethren. Ain't no more sacrifices left to give. It's how did you get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. Hey man, that's right, man. Because for those of you that don't know how I could get confused about somebody being in the house or not, is that this video is playing on my TV, right? I'm sharing my laptop to my TV, and the sound is playing through the TV. All the input sound, when she talk, I hear it through the TV. When I'm sharing my screen, I'm not seeing this screen. When I'm sharing, I see this. This is all I see. So when she talked and she hadn't talked in so long, I didn't understand where the voice was coming from. So it made it seem as if somebody was in the house with me. And, I thought it could have been my sister, you know what I'm saying? But she'd have to come in the door and I'd hear the door unlock. I heard it without the door. So I thought I was going to have to punch somebody or something. I didn't know what was going on. But that's what it was. So that your brother's not, tweaking. Baruch 21. Thus says the master, bend your shoulders and serve the king of Babylon, and you will remain in the land that I gave to your ancestors. But if you will not, when he gave him the instruction, he told him the good and the bad. He said, I got some bad news, I got some good news. You know what I'm saying? As they give us the good news. Well, good news is you going into captivity. You know what I mean? Hey, it's bad when your good news is bad. He said, you going into captivity, but if you go willingly, your captivity ain't going to be as bad. That's the good news. I said, dang, that's the good news? What's the bad news? Let's find out what the bad news was. Verse 22. But if you will not obey the voice of the master and will not serve the king of Babylon, 23, I will make to cease from the towns of Yehuda and from the region around Jerusalem the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness and the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, and the whole land will be in a desolation without inhabitants. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, whoa now. This is the same thing Jeremiah said. It's crazy how you see the same things in the different books because it happened during the same time. That's why you see it. And you see that it happened. Okay, they not having no big boy weddings during this time because at this time, see, that's the difference between this Chaldean captivity and the Roman captivity. All right. The Romans, I want to say, got everybody up out of there at a certain point. In this captivity, you still had certain people still there, right? That's why the people in captivity are writing to the people that's in the land. They're sending offerings and sacrifices to the people that's in the land. They're not offering it in foreign lands. They're not keeping festivals in foreign lands. They sending off, right? They sending off back to the land, right? And this prophecy is it happened there, and he's telling them what you promised us, you did that thing. When you said we was gonna be a desolation, when you said you was gonna stop the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, the whole land would be a desolation out of heaven. You did that thing. And that's what we gotta say. Everything you said you was gonna do, you did it. Everything you said you was gonna do, you did it because you're trustworthy. As the Christians say, you're faithful. You definitely about that action. But we did not obey your voice to serve the king of Babylon. See, I didn't even know that all of this was in here when I told you he told them to serve the king. I was referring back to in Kings or in like Chronicles where he actually told them the first time, right? This is a recounting of when he told them. I was referring to when he actually told them. So, it's in here, Todayah for confirming. He confirmed it, right? But we do not obey your voice to serve the king of Babylon. And you have carried out your threats, which you spoke by your servants, the prophets, the Nabi, that the bones of our kings and the bones of our ancestors would be brought out of their resting place. And indeed, they have been thrown out to the heat of the day and the frost of the night. They perished in great misery by the famine and the sword and pestilence. And the house that is called by your name, you have made as it is today. Because the wickedness of the house of Yasharal and the house of Yehuda, yet you have dealt with us, O Master, our power, in all your kindness and in all your great compassion, as you spoke by your servants Moshe on the day when you commanded him to write your law in the presence of the people, saying, if you will not obey my voice, this very great multitude will surely turn into a small number among the nations, where I will scatter them. For I know that they will not obey me, for they are a stiff-necked people. But, they said, listen, they stubborn, rebellious, they into witchcraft. But in the land of their exile, the King James said, in the land of their captivities. In the land of their captivities, they will come to themselves. KJV says, bethink themselves. So they will come to themselves. Say, you know what? They out their mind. When you put them in the captivity, they gonna find it. You know what I'm talking about? They lost their mind, but they will soon find it. Okay. And know that I am the master, their power. I will give them a heart that obeys and ears that hear. You know why? Because he didn't trim the fat. He trimmed the fat, man. Ooh, that's crazy. Do we got some fat? The priests, when they offered the offerings and stuff, when you go in and read, it said they had to trim the fat off of this and off the bladder and off the meat portions in which they was going to offer. So they had to trim the fat. The Most High said, I'm going to trim the fat. It said, I'm going to give them a heart that obeys, and I'm going to give them ears that hear. You know why they couldn't hear? Because it was stuffed up full of something. Stuffed up full of adversarial things. You know why their heart couldn't, behold the Most High, or it didn't contain him, right? They didn't have him in their hearts because there was other stuff in there. He said, you know what? I'm going to trim the fat. You ain't going to believe how he had to trim the fat. He had to put him in captivity. So now we got Hamashiach, right, who has come to bring us into another kind of a bondage. See, you ain't got to go into the captivity to the other lands, brethren. Although you're in one, okay? But see, this captivity has been the most tricky. That's where democracy comes in at, and all this feeling of you got some semblance of power and you got some semblance of authority and all. You ain't got nothing. And that's what make you run from the Most High, because you think you got options. Nigga, you been fooled and tricked. You ain't got no options. It's just enough to get you off. Just enough that you won't return, that you won't bethink yourself. See, now you got to come. Now you got to willingly go into bondage. See, that's that thing right there. You got to willingly go. Just like you said, go willingly into the bondage of the Babylonians. Now you got to willingly go into the bondage of Hamashiach. To be born again, to die unto yourself. All that stuff you want to do that's worldly, that's unrighteous, you got to not do it. Because you are bound to righteousness is why you don't do it. Hamashiach didn't say he was going to like set you completely free. No, he said my yoke is easy and my bond is light. You ain't going to believe it. That means you got a yoke. It just ain't as bad as the other one. That means you got bondage, but it ain't as bad as the other one. You better, hey man, listen, somebody better understand. See, you don't know Hamashiach because you don't believe on him as the scripture have said. You don't understand. I believe. You don't even know what you believe. You the woman at the well, man. You don't know what you talking about, woman. If you knew what you was talking about, you'd ask and you'd receive. You knew who you was talking to, you'd ask and you receive. You don't know nothing, man. You ask, you have not because you ask not. You ain't asking for freedom from one bondage to come into another one, the righteous one. Hey, what's going on? Where your people at? Okay, here we go. Shalom. What happened to her? She was in here. I tried to bring her up. Oh man, this thing's got me. Every little thing. Something more to talk about. But if she come back, let me know, babe, because I can't see the screen when I'm reading.
I can't see it either.
Well, it's not up now. Now it's up. What I'm saying is that I was gonna bring it up, but when I bring it up and I start reading, I won't be able to see if she's in the room or not because I have to click on a separate tab. So if she comes back at the bottom, let me know.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go back. That thing's heavy.
I just want you to know I see what you see. I see just the screen. I'm not on the laptop, so I can't see if someone's trying to come in.
Oh, it should be a thing to light up on the
It does not.
Okay. Well, hit her up. Tell her to come back if she's coming. But anyway, uh, for I know that they will not obey me, for they are a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their exile, they will come to themselves and know that I am the master of their power. I will give them a heart that obeys and ears that hear. They will praise me in the land of their exile and will remember my name and turn from their stubbornness and the wicked deeds, for they will remember the ways of their ancestors who sinned before the master. And I will bring them again into the land that I swore to give to their ancestors, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they will rule over it. And I will increase them, and they will not be diminished. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power, and they shall be my people. And I will never again remove my people, Yasharal, from the land that I have given them. Now, this is key. This is very, very key. They are recounting what the Most High said while they are in captivity.
So Salakia, she's in.
Okay. It says it's not connected. It's not allowing me to bring her up.
Okay.
So I don't
Continue.
know
I'll
if
let you know
like
when next.
huh?
I said just continue. I'll let you know when she fix it.
Okay. Okay. They are recounting what the Most High said while in captivity. Now, as we know, they had been taken out of the land by the Babylonians. We know they end up coming back into the land during the Persian captivity, right? So, does that mean that this prophecy right here was fulfilled, right? That I will bring them again into the land that I swore to give their ancestors. Now, granted, that part did get fulfilled. But when you get down here to 35, well, at the end of it, when he says, and they will rule over it, and I will increase them, and they will not be diminished. They got diminished a couple times after they came out of Babylon, brethren. A couple times. Okay? What he's referring to is in the latter days, right? In these times or in times soon after these times. At some point, we don't know when, a lot of us like this, the last days. It could be any day now and all this old kind of stuff. It might be. You know what I'm saying? It could be later on tonight. Could be tomorrow. Could be next week, next year, next 2 years. Or it could be in 100 years. We don't know. Okay? A lot of people, when you go to talk about 100 years or something down the line, they go to bowing their heads and all this old stuff. Don't you know our great-great-grandparents thought they was in the time, and the great-great-grandparents before them thought they was in the time? But look, time keep rolling, don't it? So we got to quit looking for this immediate gift and start looking for the qualifications for the gift. Just because you in captivity don't mean you coming out. It don't mean you're gonna enter in. A lot of people came out of Egypt. All of them didn't enter into the land. You gotta understand that. Some people gonna die in the wilderness. Everybody's not going in. They still saying the same thing, but some people not going in, right? That's what we got to understand. So what the Most High is looking for is exactly what I've been saying in this podcast, other instances, is about the character and the nature. He's looking to find himself. It's like in this book, me and my brother used to talk about this all the time, about how in this book entitled The Apocalypse of Paul, it speaks about how a person travels from this life into the next and how they go into judgment, right? And how the evil spirits approach a man and see if any of their characteristics, right? As we know, sins are spirits, right? Hate, envy, lust, greed, all they spirits. So these spirits want to know, is any of us in him, right? And you can't enter into the promised land with their characteristics in you, right? So on the flip side of that, the Most High want to know, is any of his characteristics in us? Yet again, we still can't cross over it onto his side without it, right? And you gonna have something. But Hamashiach said, if if an unclean spirit leave a man, 7 more wait to replace it. So we got to be, those evil spirits got to be replaced with good spirits or with tube spirits, tube ruachs, right? That's what we got to understand. Well, actually, evil is, that spirit as you think of it, right? Because spirits usually are unclean, and ruachs is more of the, quote unquote heavenly side or whatever. But that the characteristics you gotta have, and that's what you're gonna have to enter into the land. Because who got to go into the land? The pure of heart, those that trusted, or at least those that didn't doubt. See, the children of the parents doubted. The parents said, listen, I know you said this and that, the third, but we don't really see. Once again, we got the creator of the heavens and the earth saying a thing, and the people he's saying it to doubting what he said. It never goes well. It never goes well when you doubt what he say.
Salakia, babe. I think she's back.
It's in there, but it's not.
Well, I think she can
It's
hear
not.
because she was responding in the chat. So,
It
okay, she.
says. Uh, it says it's not connected. Ask her like, you know, how she is. Is it on her phone or
I think
a
it's.
laptop?
I'm not sure, but she's on the chat. You can see the messages right to the left.
I know. I see. She's in the chat on YouTube. So what I need from her, tell her or you send me her email so I can send her a straight link or whatever.
Okay. She says she can hear you. So
Well, I
I don't know.
mean,
I guess this is. I
okay,
guess it's. I guess this is cool. Like whatever. Just continue.
if she's trying to speak, then we'll have to change something. But if not, she just could stay, listening in or whatever. She's welcome to come on and talk. Anybody's welcome to come on if you like. You know, just let me know. Shoot your email.
Sis, respond to that in the text if you want to send an email. If you got something to say, if you want to talk. But if not, you could just let us know.
We only an hour and a half in. I'm doing two. We still got two more chapters.
You can continue, but
Huh?
you can
Oh, continue.
continue.
All right. So this promise was not fulfilled when they came out of this captivity. It's only going to be fulfilled when we come out of this world captivity, right? That has been in place since the land and the temple was destroyed and all the people got cast out and sent to the four corners, right? There was no remnant left in the land continuing on and offering sacrifices and all of this, right? Because the people had to pay for killing the son, for killing an innocent man, right? Everything they did to him was done to us. We hung him on a tree. We've been in America. Our forefathers been hung on trees. We beat and spit on him in America. Them white boys in the 60s and the 40s and 50s and all that, they used to beat on our men, spit on our men, right? We used to our people rather used to lynch, right? They tried to lynch Paul. They tried to lynch Hamashiach. We ended up getting lynched. Still getting lynched to this day, right? So all of that had to take place. So now we're in a position to where we're looking for this promise. We're looking for the everlasting covenant for him to be our power and we be his people, and that he never again remove us from the land, right? Because as we know, after this point, the people got removed out the land a couple times, right? The Persians moved them out. The Greeks moved them out. The Romans moved them out until it came to a point of having a war, because these other nations didn't war to control us. They came into power over us because each nation took over a nation that already had us captive. You know what I'm talking about? It's like the Chaldeans warred to get us into captivity. So when the Persians and the Medes beat the Babylonians, they didn't have to war to get us. We was already bound. We was already in servitude. So they just kept us there. Same thing happened with the Greeks. The Greeks beat the Persians, right? That's where you get the 300 from and all this, with the Spartans and all this fighting against the Persians. It's history. Granted, I don't think it was those people or whatever, but that's the context. And then, as we know, the Romans came up and started fighting against the Greeks. That's why you got Greco-Roman culture and all this old stuff, because all of this stuff was blended. That's why at the end of the book, it talks about the whore of Babylon, because it all started with Babylon and the things that they instituted in the earth, right? Every other culture took over it and took what it wanted out of the culture and continued on. That's why you see them doing the same stuff and ruling in the same way. This whole thing about taking a person out of their land and putting them somewhere else, that's how you control them better. Because when you in your land, in your house, you know where all the little nooks and crannies at. You know how to hide stuff over here or hide over there, or to run over here and run over there. But if I put you somewhere you don't know nothing about, where you going to hide at? You don't know where to hide. And that's what they did. That's why all these people trying to run to all these other countries and stuff, you don't know nothing about them places. It might start out nice. What happened when it get thick over there? What you gonna do? Where you gonna go? You don't know nothing about it. A lot of us don't know nothing about where we at right now, but we need to learn. But anyway, that's the end of chapter 2. So let's get into chapter 3. Almighty, the Almighty Master, the Mighty One of Yasharal, the soul in anguish and wearied Ruach cry out to you. O Master, have kindness, for we have sinned before you. For you are enthroned forever. We are perishing forever. O mighty Master, mighty One of Yasharal, hear now the prayer of the people of Yasharal, the children of those who sinned before you, who did not heed the voice of the Master, their power, so the calamities have clung to us. Keep in mind, this is what you call accountability. That woe is me mindset gives the impression that you don't understand why things are happening to you. This man over the people had an understanding of why they were in captivity, and they didn't try to dodge it and say Esau, it's the Babylonians doing it to us. I say it's a reason why they are in power. It is a reason why they are allowed to treat us how they treat us, and the reason is the children of those who have sinned before you, who did not heed the voice of the Master, their power, so that the calamities have clung to us. Do not remember the iniquities of our ancestors, but in this crisis, I don't think the King James said this crisis. That's wild. But in this crisis, it probably said calamity. I'm sure. But in this crisis, remember your power and your name. For you are the Master, our power, and it is you, O Master, whom we will praise. For you have put the fear of you in our hearts, so that we would call upon your name, and we will praise you in our exile. For we have put away from our hearts all the iniquity of our ancestors who sinned against you. What did it take for them to do that? Some people said, I'm trying. I'm just not quite getting it. Well, you better get it together, because don't make it take what it took them. You know what it took them? You know what he said in the previous chapter? We have ate our own babies. Some have eaten their own sons, and others have eaten their own daughters. That's what it took for them to get right. Don't let it be that for you, brethren. Don't play with him, because he don't play fair. Well, he don't play like you want him to play. He plays absolutely fair, because he told you what he was going to do before he did it. That's called full disclosure. It don't get more fairer than that. But it just ain't what you want. You might say, well, man, that's cold, man. You make a person eat their own babies. Man, that's cold. You know what he says cold? For you to marry me and cheat on me. For you to marry me and dishonor me. For you to promise you're going to do what I say and don't do what I say. He said, that's wrong. I'm just saying, man. Just saying. Just saying so somebody could say that they said it. Verse 8. See, we are today in our exile, where you have scattered us to be reproached and cursed and punished for all iniquities of our ancestors, who forsook the master our power. Hear the commandments of life. Oh, Yasharal. Let me start that over. Hear the commandments of life, oh, Yasharal. Give ear and learn wisdom. And listen to what the man been talking about. Listen to what he been telling you. Why is it, oh Yasharal? Why is it that you are in the land of your enemies? Hey, man, listen. What they asked King David? They said, man, David, what you doing up here, man? What you doing up here at the war? David said, is there not a cause? That's what it said. Is there not a cause that you are here? Esau, the white man, it's his fault. Is there not a cause? You got to watch people always pointing the finger without. The Most High told us don't do that. He said, what mean ye by this proverb? The parents have eaten sour grapes and the children's teeth are set on edge. What you mean by that? He said, let it no longer be said. Whatever our parents did, we don't got to live it. He said, if a man who has had a parent or had a father who has been wicked his whole life, he said, if that man should turn, he shall be saved. Listen, man. You ain't got to continue on. You ain't got to be because it's always been. You can change if you heed. Why is it that you are in the land of your enemies? That you are growing old in a foreign country? That you are defiled with the dead? That you are counted among those in Hades? Why? You have forsaken the fountain of wisdom. If you had walked in the way of the Most High, you would be living in peace forever. Learn where there is wisdom, where there is strength, where there is understanding, so that you may at the same time discern where there is length of days and life, and where there is light for the eyes and peace. Who has found her place? And who has entered her storehouses? Where are the rulers of the nations and those who lorded it over the animals on the earth? Those who made sport of the birds of the air and who hoarded up silver and gold in which people trust. And there is no end to their getting. He's talking about how the people that ruled, how they abused their power. Same thing to this day. They had no reverence. They were irreverent. They were ungodly, unrighteous. Right? And they had certain things going on. And they thought they'd always have it. And they abused people. And they abused the Most High's possession. And they disregarded his commandments and his words. Got people doing it this day. Because they got members. Because they got numbers. They got followers. They got influence. They got a good job. They got money. Said those who made sport of the birds of the air, who hoarded up the silver and gold in which people trust, and there is no end to their getting. Those who schemed to get silver and were anxious. It said, but there is no trace of their works. That's how the Most High, that's what the Most High do. Say you be forgotten. Come and be destroyed and no one will remember your name. But he said to the righteous will be remembered forever. They have vanished and gone down to Hades, and others have arisen in their place. Don't nobody remember you. You just a regular. And you know what? A regular person gonna rise up and diminish your memory. Know why we still talk about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Why we still talk about a King David, Yahushua, or Paul, or Peter, or James, and all this old stuff? Because they wasn't extra. I mean, because they wasn't regular. They were extra. Okay, let's straighten that out. Straighten that out. It said later generations have seen the light of day and have lived upon the earth, but they have not learned the way to knowledge, nor understand her paths, nor laid hold of her. That's how we doing today. Nobody cares about no knowledge, not of the Most High, not of the righteous things. We will learn about how to whip it in the kitchen, whipping with my baby, or whatever the song said. We will learn about some old foolishness. Women want to learn how to twerk. They don't want to learn how to plant a garden, how to bring life. They want to learn how to bring death. They want to learn how to put their lashes on right. These men want to learn how to cook dope. They will learn how to get over, how to seduce women, right? How to get the bag. I ain't worried about knowledge and understanding, righteous paths. It said their descendants have strayed far from her way. Not only are the parents going to be bad, their children going to be bad. And this has continued. That's why we don't know nothing. So our parents didn't know, their parents didn't know, their parents and parents and parents didn't know. How we going to know? It's only by the favor of the Most High and the Ruach HaKodesh that he sent into the earth to give us any kind of understanding, to come into the darkness, to shine light into the darkness, and to show us what our eyes couldn't see, to speak to us what our ears couldn't hear. Only by his favor and his esteem. All praises to him. Todayah. To him be the honor and esteem forever. So be it. Their descendants have strayed far from her way. She has not been heard of in Canaan or seen in Teman. Her descendants, the descendants of Hagar, who seek for understanding on the earth, the merchants of Moran and Teman, the storytellers and the seekers for understanding, have not learned the way to wisdom or given thought to her paths. They say, listen, all these other people, they looking. They not looking rightly. Because the people that's supposed to show them ain't there. We supposed to be the kings and the priests, the Malachim and the Kohanim. If we fall, everybody falling. If the head is sick, the whole body is sick. We don't understand. We don't understand that our transgressions is hurting others. Just like a parent that ain't doing what they're supposed to do is hurting the children. That's why you get people like a Christian and all this old stuff, trying to be equal and trying to take the birthright and all. Sit down. Sit your $5 stuff down before I make change. It ain't no taking no birthright. The birthright got to come into itself and standing in its rightful place. And when he do, you better move. Just like them people over there. They over there, the Jews, save Israel, all this. So they only playing a role because the real ones ain't in their rightful place. But guess what happened when the real ones get in their rightful place? Anybody else trying to be in it, they got to go. Something else I got to tell to the Christians, man. They always talk about, we the bride. Listen, man, you got to stop it. You get to go to the wedding, but you're not the star of the show, okay? You the bridesmaid, okay? Be happy you able to come into the gates into the wedding anyway, okay? Just because you ain't standing at the altar, don't be jealous. Don't be calm down. Don't get too big for your britches, okay? What kind of bridesmaid want to outshine the bride anyway? A wicked one. Meant to be carried to the outskirts of the city in stone. Okay? So stop it. You get to come to the wedding. You not the bride. Stop it. Stop it. Ain't no getting around it, man. You know. But 24. Oh Yasharal, how great is the house of the Most High? How vast is the territory that he possesses? It is great. It has no bounds. It is high and immeasurable. The giants were born there, who were famous of old, great in statute, expert in war. The Most High did not choose them, or give them the way to knowledge. So they perished because they had no wisdom. They perished through their folly. Who has gone up into Shemaim and taken her, brought her down from the clouds? Who has gone over the sea and found her, and will buy her for pure gold? No one knows the way to her or is concerned about the path to her. But the one who knows all things knows her. He found her by his understanding. The one who prepared the earth or the Arats for all time, filled it with four-footed creatures. The one who sends forth the light, and it goes. He called it, and it obeyed him, trembling. And the stars shone in their watches, and were glad. He called them, and they said, "Here we are." They shone with gladness for him who made them. For this is our power. No other can be compared to him. He found the whole way to knowledge and gave her to his servant, Jacob and Yasharal, whom he ahaved. Oh, he gave it to the church. He gave it to the Muslims. He gave it to the Catholics. He gave it to his servant, Jacob, and to Yasharal. Afterward, she appeared on earth and lived with humankind. You know how it got to humankind? Because Yasharal and Jacob gave it to them. That's the end of the book of Baruch. Oh, yeah. Babe, what's going on? You got anything for me? What you got? What you got about what you heard?
I mean, everything was pretty much explained.
No, I won't. I won't expound on what's been explained for me.
There was nothing else to say. You said it all. I mean, it was very informative, but you know, I feel like everything has already been explained very well, and I don't have anything to input because everything has been very well explained.
So that, yeah. All right. Let's get into this word. Let's get into captivity. Look up this word, captivity. What we have here. Can you see this, babe?
No,
No.
I only see you and me.
How about now?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the word for captivity, the Hebrew word. Uh, we're getting it out of. We are pulling this from the book of Deuteronomy. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. Everybody want to talk about Deuteronomy 28? Well, this is 28 and 41. It says, "Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them." This is the promises that Baruch was talking about, that the Most High promised that he would do, right? "Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, and thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity." So we're going to take a deeper look at this word captivity, right? Because we are captive this day. So it's important to find out, what did the writer mean when he used this word here. This word in the Hebrew is H7628. That H stands for Hebrew. It ought to be an A, but we'll leave it alone. It is Shibi, but it sounds like Shava. Uh, Shivi. I think it's
You could
Shabi.
just you could just hit the pronunciation button over there.
I did hit it. You couldn't hear it?
No, it was too fast, I think.
Let me see something real quick. Uh, entire screen. Put the sound on it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Strong's H7628. Chevy. Chevy.
Could you hear that, babe?
Yeah, Chevy.
Okay. Chevy. So, as y'all know, I don't know the letters like off the rip, but I did look into them earlier. Uh, from the right to the left, we have the shin. We have the shin, and we have uh the bat, right? Or the bot.
Go back.
That's what it is, but right. We have the shin right here. We got the bot right here. And last but not least, we got the yod. Shin bot yod right here. All right, that's what those letters are. So let's go in and find out the characteristics. Like I said, it's all about characteristics. Characteristics of the Most High, the characteristics of His Son, the characteristics of His Word. Right? So let's see what these letters mean. Let's see if I can get that up there for you. Shin, teeth, ivory, point of a rock, a peak, to devour, to consume, to destroy, something sharp, El Shaddai. So we're talking about captivity. We're talking about something that is a I tell you what, let's look up the other definition of captivity here. It says masculine noun, captives, state of captivity, capture, captives. Says exiled or captured, concretely and collectively, or abstractly, or concretely or collectively. Um, to go, to be led into captivity, use the beast. Uh, let's look at the word in the English dictionary. Definition of captivity. It is the condition of being imprisoned or confined.
Captivity.
The condition of being imprisoned or confined. Right? Like I said, Hamashiach, Paul said he was captive to Hamashiach, or he was in bondage to him. He was confined, he was constrained, right, by him to be a certain way, to do certain things. Likewise, we should be, right? But a lot of us think ourselves to be bound to Hamashiach when we actually bound to Hasatan. That's why it said that you can't have two masters, right? Because these two masters are against each other, right? They are diametrically opposed, as they say, right? One says go left, the other says go right. That's why you can't have two. You got to pick one, Because trying to have two will only split you into two. You're going to serve one and hate the other because there's one way you would rather go, and you're going to hate the other way. That's why when it's time to do two or to do good or righteous things, we resent it because we'd rather go the other way. I'd rather cuss you out. I'm supposed to forgive you. So you hate the forgiveness and you love the anger and the hate and the malice. You love that because I'm used to that. I'm with that. But being humble, being meek, being understanding, forgiving, nah, well, I don't do all that. That's what they say. I don't do all that. Where I'm from, we do it like this. And we think we do all of him a service, though. We think we do him a service. When we don't realize he's always calling for that until he calls directly for a judgment. And it's usually because they have not heeded the first. See, we want to do judgment when we ain't gave them the cheek, right? We ain't gave them the cheek. Hamashiach said, if you slap one cheek, give them the other also. See, that's why the people had to go into the captivity they went in. Because Hamashiach gave them the cheek. And he gave them the other also. And they crucified him. They beat him, punched him, spit on him. He gave him the cheek. He said, at any moment, I could call a legion of angels to come be at my side. He didn't do it. He said, at any moment, I could bring judgment on you. At any moment, I could cuss you out. That's the flip side of, whatever. Not that he would do that, but trying to put it into layman's terms. At any moment, I could be contrary to you. But he said, I'm not going to do it. So he is doing what the scripture said about heaping coals onto a person's head, right? By the kindness that he's showing to them. And we're supposed to likewise be, but we're not taught that. Okay, people don't go into the scriptures to teach us that. They go into the scriptures to teach us foolishness, really, or to teach us things that don't really profit, or things done out of order, and we think we're supposed to get fruit from it. Oh man, see, I put the seed in the ground. I'm like, man, did you like till the land before you put the seed, or did you just like dig a little small hole and put? You gotta like till the ground. You gotta break it up and get it. You know what I'm saying? Right. And you gotta moisturize it and do this. You gotta do a whole lot before you put the seed in there. You know what we said? Man, I put the seed in there. I want the fruit. Man, the Most High ain't give me no fruit, man. Brother, you ain't finished. That's like your baby think he made the bed because he threw the big cover on top of it and put a pillow on top of the big cover. Meanwhile, ain't no fitted sheet. He ain't got the other sheet tucked in. He don't have the big sheet right or nothing. He just ain't, I made the bed. You ain't made no bed. You don't even know how to make a bed. Obviously, by what you're doing, you don't even know. And this is supposed to be the fruits of the Ruach, that we know a person know what they doing or that they don't. You can't know what you're doing. You know why? Because it don't go like that. People say, I'm a farmer. I put the seed in the ground. You don't know what you're talking about because you didn't till it before you plant it. People out here teaching you, people out here doing stuff. It don't go like that. You don't teach like that. That don't go that way. See, now I know you don't know what you're talking about because you're doing this. Now I know you don't know what you're talking about because you're not showing signs of knowing what you're talking about. Blind guys got to have blind followers. Oh, we. They have eyes but see not. You know what I'm talking about? But hey, it is what it is. So yeah, captivity. Let's get back into this thing. We are looking for the characteristics of the shin and the bat and the yod. So shin, teeth, ivory, point, rock, peak, devour, consume, destroy. So as we see, as pointed out by my brother last week, is that all of these letters have a negative and a positive to it. There is a positive to devouring. Because when you captive to the Most High, he devours the wickedness, right? He purges the wickedness from you. But when it's to the negative, you are devoured by the wickedness, right? And that wickedness would purge any kind of righteousness you got from you, right? So that it could have you wholly. See, the Most High wants you wholly. He don't want you partly. He want to devour you in his righteousness. The Hasatan want to devour you with his wickedness, right? We see the tube and the rasha everywhere we go. It's tube and rasha, right? So devour, consume, destroy something sharp, a double-edged sword, piercing. Okay, most I said he was gonna get us with the edge of the sword, right? So he either gonna get you with the edge of the sword to the positive, or he gonna get you with the edge of the sword to the negative. You know, which is easier. You know, which is easier. So that's shin. Let's get up here to the bot, right? What is the bot? The bot is the tent, the house, the body, right? The household, family, inside, within, and amid. So now we see that there will be a devouring of the bot, right? Like we said, the Most High seeks to have you whole. It said, how do you serve the Most High? With your whole heart, with your whole mind, with your whole soul. You gotta let them devour you. You ain't gonna believe it. You gotta let them devour you. It said you either do your works of your father, the Most High, or you do the works of your father, the devil, the adversary, right? So we see this devouring of the house, of the family, of the inside or within. So we go here to the Yod, right? One of the letters that describes the Most High. Well, all of these letters embody him, right? In one way or another. But Yod, right? The hand, close, or closing upon, to work, a deed done, finished work, right? So we see that captivity has a meaning behind it. It's to an end, right? It said, you shall have a mark upon your right hand or your forehead. Okay? That's the motion, that's the working, that's the doing, the going forth of, right? To an end, right? A deed done, a finishing. I messed up on my other video. I said that had to do with being unyielding. I think that was had to been another letter. It was unyielding. What's the word for unyielding? What is it, Vol? Whatever it was one of the letters of the Most High that I was talking about. Gotta be Vol. Nail, peg, hook, make it secure. Mm-hmm. Anyway, uh, this Yod is it's a doing, it's a working, right? So even to the positive and the negatives of captivity, it's for a reason. There's a cause, right? There's a hand at play. And the hand that is at play is either the Most High or it's Hasatan. And the end thereof is meant either for your good or for your evil, right? And let's go in and look at someone who said they came to deal with the captives. Okay, let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 61. I spoke earlier about being in bondage to Mashiach, right? Says the Ruach of the mighty master is upon me. Because the master has anointed me, he has sent me to bring the tube news to the oppressed, to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives and release to the prisoners, right? This is what Hamashiach did when it said, he brought the tube news. He brought message of freedom. He brought message of the freedom from the bondage in the negative to the shin, right? And the bondage of the bat, the negative bondage of the house, to let them know that this mindset you've been under. See, in the fleshly mind, we looking for a fleshly freedom. That's why the apostles asked him when it was confirmed to them that he is this sent one. You are the sent one, okay? All the prophets, they was talking about you. So the first thing the apostles want to know, hey, when we gonna get back on top? You know, about when we gonna get the kingdom back? They looking for the kingdom. They looking for freedom from a carnal oppression, from a carnal captivity, right? He's talking about, hey, I came to free you from the ruachni, or from the spiritual captivity that you in. You in captivity to sin, right? The transgression. I came to free you from that, right? They're like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? It's like that ain't what they was looking for. They looking for rulership. They looking for power. They looking for prestige. You're like, hey, you ain't ready for that. You don't even qualify for that until you first are freed from this spiritual captivity. If I don't free you from the spiritual captivity, a fleshly captivity ain't gonna do you no good. You're just gonna be a free sinner, right? And that's our mindset. We got to understand. Right now, we just free sinners. We think because we ain't on plantations anymore, but yet we go and call these jobs, call these occupations, we call them plantations, but we do that in jest, not even realizing we right. They are plantations. We are making more money, making pennies on a dollar as opposed to what we make for them. The slave got things for his servitude. He got 3 hots and a cot. He got a house to live in. He was allowed to marry and give in marriage, but his master was booming, right? He was making shekels. I mean, pennies on the dollar, right? So it's the same thing that's happening today, and we looking for a carnal freedom when we need to be looking for a spiritual one, a ruachni one. Same thing happened to this day. Oh, the black man gonna be on top. For what? For what? So you can fall again? You ain't ready. You don't know nothing about no freedom. You still bound. How you know something about freedom? How you gonna rule and you bound? That's why a bishop's supposed to be a certain type of a man. You know what kind of man he got to be? Free. The man above one wife. The man who children's listen. The man that, he don't fight. He ain't giving the anger and wrath and all this stuff. He got to have certain characteristics. What? The characteristics of a free man. He's not bound to sin. So you know what? When he ain't bound to sin, you know what he get to do? He get to rule and to reign over the people. See, people they miss the context. They miss the context. It ain't that you ain't supposed to have these people. It's that you got to have these people in their right order. It ain't about you can't have no moray. We ain't never said you shouldn't have them. We just think a lot of people claiming the names without really manifesting it in the people is a problem. You want to be big moray this, big bishop this, yet that's not your conversation. That's not your lifestyle. You know, that's not really who you are, but you want this title that mean you that. No, just be a brother. Just be old regular Joe. Till you get your come on over here with us till you get yourself together. Okay? You know, you bound just like us. Come on, sit down. You know what I'm talking about? Like just go ahead. And we get stuff out of context because our enemies teach us. You know, they got homosexuals over the people. They got people on their third and fourth wife over the people. You over your third and fourth wife, man, you in captivity somewhere. If you ain't in captivity to nothing else, you in captivity to ignorance because you keep choosing the wrong woman. You got to keep getting a new one. So sit down over here with the rest of us and then figure it out. Let the Most High put one that's supposed to be up there, man. Because we can't get nowhere with you leading us. That's the whole point of the thing. Ain't that you can't rule? Ain't that you can't reign? Ain't that you can't be a Kohan? These offices are there, but you can't get them amiss. And that's the problem. We want to do things amiss. It ain't time. Told I yeah. But anyway, what we got here? What we got going on? I've been standing for a very long time. My baby ain't even been up here. What's going on, babe? Did you want to say something?
No, I just got on. I don't know what's going on. Like I keep getting kicked out. I ain't I ain't heard nothing you said since. I don't even know where you at.
Okay. Um, let's get into this Jeremiah
I did.
29 and we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna get on up and out. Uh Jeremiah 29. I hope y'all been edified, man. I hope you done got something. You know, I know I get a little vibrant and whatnot, you know, but it's all out of the passion for the Most High, y'all. You know, my compassion for him has eaten me up, you know. Get into this Jeremiah 29. This is the same captivity that Baruch was in. And it's just another look at the people in captivity and their mindsets. So this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29. See context, man. And people will take prophecies that's referring to this time, referring to that captivity, and try to say it's to come, or to other captivities and other things, try to say it's to come. Man, stop it. Okay? Like Tony Smith said, shut your mouth. You don't know nothing about white people. You know what I'm saying? You just shut your mouth. You don't know. You don't know. Stop it. 29. These are the words of the letter of the prophet Jeremiah sent to Jerusalem, to the remaining elders among the exiles, and to the Kohanim and the Nabim, and all the people whom Nebuchadnezzar had taken into exile from Jerusalem to Babylon. This was the king Yekaniah and the queen mother. See, all these people that take on that title queen, man, they never really worked out right. All these queen people they be talking about, it never goes good. The only person that was called a queen who was decent was not called a queen over Yasharal. She was queen over the Persians. Okay, talking about Esther. Okay, there's none of that. We don't see none of these people that take this title. It really works out for them. Okay, uh, unless they took it for a time until their sons came to power. And when their sons came to power, they faded to the back somewhere. Okay, we got to understand our people, how we ran things. Man, it's patriarchal, man. Okay, patriarchal. We've had some great women do some great things, but they did their thing and they moved off to the side and let the men finish running it. Okay, and that's just something that women today have a hard time getting to that. Now it's a whole we equal 50-50, hear me roar type of stuff. Listen, man, you in bondage. You in bondage to a Western mindset, a Western way of doing things, and you really not doing Elohim a service by having such a mindset. Okay? Your greatness is in other areas. It's not leading the people. It's not leading men. Your greatness is in leading and guiding uh your household activities and your children and your fellow sisterin. Okay? That's where your duties and your greatness come into play. And your ministration, okay, your ministration in deeds, okay, not in teachings, okay. When them brothers want some water, they want something to eat, that's where your greatness come from. I'm just saying. That's what we hear about Mary and them. They was up there serving, okay, they was up there helping, you know. People need praying for, they prayed. People need something to drink, something to eat, they brought it. Okay, that's why we talking about them today. Okay, because they was servants in their proper context and servants to the best of their ability. They didn't say, "Why can't I heal the sick? I can heal the sick too, Jesus." That's what Wood said. You know, somebody talk about Jesus. Why can't I heal him, Jesus? Shoot, I want people to be healed by my shadow too. Let's stop. Sit down somewhere. You know, you're trying to get out of order. And it's not to say we don't love the. A lot of people hear that and they think, "Oh, you chauvinist." And you, no. First of all, you got to understand, leadership is a dangerous position. We never wanted our women in any place of danger. Judith had to go and beg them people to let her go somewhere. She had to live the kind of life that the fact that she even asked let them know it's serious. I said, man, Judith then came out here. Judith don't be on that. For Judith to say she got to do something that the Most High told her to do something, it got to be real. Do you live? Are you like that? Stop it, man. People, man, you got to stay. What about Judy? What about Deborah? Man, you not that. You is regular Tasha and Taquita and them. Just be the best mother, the best wife, the best sister you could be, and you do well, man. They out here trying to be leaders and stuff, man. That stuff dangerous. People hate, people kill, people slander, people murder the head. And you talking about you want to be the head, man? Stop it, man. Why? You trying to put on men's garments. We're not talking about pants, talking about the garment of leadership. You worry about I can wear pants. Yeah, wear your pants. Quit trying to lead men and be in men's business. Quit trying to teach men. Them your pants. Them your men's garments. Them your garments of war. You send yourself to go to war. Sit down somewhere. If the Most High sent you, can't nobody deny you. Could nobody deny Judith when she said what she said? You too able to be denied. It's too many ways to get you. Okay, you need to stop it. They couldn't bring no accusation against Judith. They had to let her go. They couldn't bring no accusation against the boy. They had to let her go. Ain't nobody listen. You not that, ma'am, sis. Stop it, okay? We'll harm you. We'll harm you greatly. You know, little tink tink. Oh, little tink tink. I know you mean well. You mean well. We'll harm you. You know, you desire a great work, but desire something else, okay? Desire to be the best wife you could be. Desire to be the best teacher of your children, right? The best akut to your sister in, okay? A strong defense to them. Strong defense to your nation on the Ruachni side of the game. Be a wailing woman for your nation, okay? Let's be that, okay? Be the quickest with that cold glass of water. You know what I'm talking about? With that glass of yayin. Be like, dang, she was right there. She was right there on it. I ain't even have to ask. It was there. Be that. You're always trying to get out here on the battlefield stuff, man. You don't want this stuff, man. You kind of want it now because it's all sweet and Christiany. But that sweet and Christian is only because you ain't saying what need to be said. You ain't doing what need to be done. You ain't out here in the trenches dealing with people, man. What the dangers at? Welcome to the danger zone. You ain't in the danger zone, man. Stop it. Anyway, I don't know where I just went off on a whole tangent because that Queen Mother thing. Anyway, this was after King Yekaniah, the Queen Mother, the court officials, the leaders of Yehuda and Jerusalem, the artisans and the smiths, and departed from Jerusalem. The letter was sent by the hand of Elsiah, son of Shaphan, Gamaliel, son of Hilkiah, whom King Zedekiah of Yehuda sent to Babylon, to King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon. It said, thus says the master of hosts, the mighty one of Yasharal, to all the exiles whom I have sent into exile from Jerusalem to Babylon. Build houses and live in them. Plant gardens and eat what they produce. Take wives and sons and daughters. Take wives and have sons and daughters. Take wives for your sons and give your daughters in marriage that they bear sons and daughters. Multiply there and do not increase. We got to talk to some people today. Okay, we got to talk to some people because we got some people. Now, granted, Jerusalem is our first Ahab, should be our first Ahab, and she should not be forgotten of us. Okay, you know how I'd say, let the tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth if I should forget thee, O Jerusalem. We're not talking about forgetting Jerusalem. Okay, we're talking about being content and not being wearisome in our present conditions. This is the reason why he's telling them to be this in their captivity. Don't be over here, woe is me. What am I gonna do? What am I do? I'm in captivity. That's not what he's saying. How is you gonna inhabit the land? You ain't made no babies. So be righteous, live righteous, so that things will be well with you. Marry, give in marriage, so you can bring up righteous seed, and you can teach them righteousness. And when you come into the land, now you come into the land with abundance. Now you got babies and grandbabies you can enjoy the land with. Who you going to enjoy the land with? You over here, you ain't having no babies because you want to go back to Jerusalem so much. Oh, man, I ain't going to get married, man. I'm just waiting to go back to the land. You sound like an idiot. Man, I ain't going to have no grandbabies, man. I'm going to wait till I get back into the land. What you going to go into the land with? He going to put you in the land when he gets you in the land. Problem is, you don't know when you're going. Maybe your children's children gonna go into the land, but your children's children can't go if you don't have none. So where your descendants gonna be? Your name gonna die off here because you thought you going into the land in 10, 20 years, and your 10, 20 years don't come? She said, I ain't gonna have no kids, man, for 10, 20 years till I get into the land. This thing, you know, you died in 15 years. You died in 7 years. So now you can cut your whole family line off because you was woe is me in captivity. That's what he's trying to tell you. Take wives, have sons and daughters. Give your daughters in marriage. Bear sons and daughters. Multiply there. Do not decrease. That's a commandment. It's another thing you're missing here. Verse 7. But seek the welfare of the city where I have sent you into exile. Seek the welfare. That's why you see the people praying for Nebuchadnezzar. But you know what? They did it out of context. They did that after they was humbled. Now you got to be humbled and beat and killed and distraught to understand what I'm trying to tell you. He said, don't be well stricken because you're disobedient. Listen at the first. We're telling them right now, seek the welfare of the city where I have sent you. Don't be over here, I can't wait till America fall. No, Most High, may America be as you would have it to be as long as you would have it to be it. May your will be done, not mine. If you would have America to last another 500 years, let it last. If you want it to burn today, let it burn today. Either or, but either way, I'm going to be content. That's what he's trying to tell the people. Be content where you at until I get you out. I'm going to trust. You got to trust. You got to trust I'm going to bring you out. Then I'm going to do what I said. He said he's going to bring us out. So I'm going to trust he's going to do it. And we're going to make babies. We're going to have marriage and give in marriage until it's time. How many people got to stop it, man? All this old flea doctrine stuff, man. I understand the mindset of it, you know. But at the same time, if you believe he's a hedge of protection, you ought to believe he can be your hedge anywhere. Oh, I'm going to run to Africa. You know what he said about the curses? He said it ain't nowhere you could run. Ain't nowhere you could hide from them. Oh, man, I'm going to run over here. So just in case I ain't right, I'm going to still have time to get right because I'm going to be saved. You know what it said about the pestilence? It said, the Most High sent such a great pestilence in the land. He sent such a great pestilence in the land. Even the people that wasn't in the land got sick and died in foreign lands. This is the type of person you playing with. So if he could kill you anywhere, he could save you anywhere. You know what happened with Job when he didn't want to go? They took him. Let the Most High take you. Quit running, thinking you heard something. Because if he told you, he going to make you go. Oh, you going. That's what happened with Jonah. He didn't want to go. He made him go. He went. You best believe he went. So if he could do it to Job, and he could do it to who did I just name before Job? Not Job, Jonah, and I forgot who I just said before Jonah. Just that quick. If he could do it for them, he could do it for us. Oh, Lot. He did it for Lot. Lot didn't want to leave Sodom and Gomorrah. They took him. Job didn't want to go to Nineveh. I mean, Jonah didn't want to go to Nineveh. He made him go. So you think you got to run this whole flea doctrine stuff? If he told you to go and you don't go and you righteous, he goes, you still going. The problem you worried about, you trying to hold on to just in case I ain't righteous. See, just in case I ain't righteous, I'm going to just go ahead and go anyway. Man, you better. It's not going to go well for you. Because that's not no true and honest heart. Hold on. For thus saith the Master of Hosts, the mighty one of Yasharal, do not let the prophets and the diviners who are among you deceive you, and do not listen to dreams that they dream. For it is a lie that they are prophesying to you in my name. I did not send them, says the Master. For thus says the Master, only when Babylon's 70 years are completed will I visit you, and will I fulfill to you my promise and bring you back into this place. People, see, the Lord told me that we all got to go to Egypt. We all got to go to East Africa, see? And that's where he gonna save us at. So I said, don't be believing him. I don't know these niggas. He said, stop it. Stop it. Don't shoot that little bitty mother no more. Stop it. He said, only when Babylon's 70 years are completed will I visit you, and I will fulfill to you my promise and bring you back to this place. Quit letting these people trick your mind, man. If you want to go, if you want to move somewhere because you want to move there, move there. I'm not saying you got to stay in America. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this whole flea doctrine, like you doing something. Like you getting away? Man, stop it, man. It said the people of Egypt, the book of Jasher say the people of Egypt tried to hide from the plagues. It said they built shelters in the ground with locked doors. It said the Most High brought a beast on the earth with long arms to reach down into the ground and open up the doors. Ain't nowhere you could run, man. Y'all gotta stop it, man. You gotta stop. You gotta realize your power, whom you serve or whom you not serving. That's the flip side to it too. You need to understand who you're playing with. Either you serving them and you need to understand the kind of person you serve, or you playing with them. You need to understand the kind of person you playing with. And it's not the type of person you ought to be. For surely I know the plans I have for you, says the Master. Plans for your welfare, not for your harm, to give you a future with hope. Then when you call upon me and come and pray to me, I will hear you. When you search for me, you will find me. If you seek me with all your heart, if you are in captivity to me, right? That's what we just read in the shed. To devour. You've been devoured by El Shaddai. You've been captive to him. He said, if you search for me, you will find me. If you seek me with all your heart, I will let you find me, says the Master. And I will restore your fortunes and gather you from all the nations. Oh, no, see, I'm only gathering the ones that went to Africa. What's the button? Let me see. Stop it. That's a slap, in case you don't know what that sound was. That's what you need. Flea doctrine. I will let you find me, says the Master. I will restore your fortunes and gather you from all the nations and all the places where I have driven you, says the Master. I will bring you back to the place from which I sent you into exile. Because you have said, the Master has raised up prophets for us in Babylon. Thus says the Master concerning the king who sits on the throne of David, and concerning all the people who live in this city, your kinsfolk who did not go out with you into exile. Thus says the Master of hosts, I am going to let loose on them. See, the people that thought they got away? You thought you got away. Oh, I'm going to go over to East Coast Africa. I'm going to go to Mexico. I'm going to go to South America. I'm going to go to Canada. Oh, you think you got away? You think you could run from judgment? You think you could get through the door by some other way? Thus saith the Master of hosts, I am going to let loose on them sword, famine, and pestilence, and I will make them like rotten figs that are so bad they cannot be eaten. I will pursue them with the sword, with famine, and with pestilence, and will make them a horror to all the kingdoms of the earth, to be an object of cursing, of horror, and hissing, and a derision among all the nations where I have driven them. Said you're going to go over to some place else, you think you ran somewhere else, so I'm going to make you a fool there. Hey, man, listen, man. You better hope you went because you like the scenery or something. You know what I'm saying? You better hope you went because you just wanted to be there. You was tired of America and the folly with America, and you just wanted to be in these other places. Don't think you ran. You better be over there seeking righteousness and wisdom. That's what you better be doing. Because if you think you getting away, he said, I will pursue them with a sword, with a famine, with a pestilence, and make them a horror to all the kingdoms of the earth, to be object of cursing, a horror, hissing, and a derision among all the nations where I have driven them. You know, that's dangerous, too. He said he drove them there. Ooh-wee. Because they did not heed my word, says the Master. When I persistently sent to you my servants, the prophets, and they would not listen, says the Master. But now all you exiles whom I sent away to Jerusalem to Babylon, hear the words of the Master. Thus says the master of hosts, the mighty one of Yashral, concerning Ahab, son of Kolaiah, and Zedekiah, son of Messiah, who are prophesying a lie to you in my name. I am going to deliver them into the hand of King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon, and he shall kill them before your eyes. He said this earlier in the chapters of Jeremiah. He said, listen, the people that prophesied to the people all these sweet and smooth things, he said, I'm going to destroy them in front of the people so the people can see. Them people don't know what they talking about. These the same people talking about, man, it's going to go well. Man, all we got to do is just go to Africa. All we got to do is just do this. He said, listen, most I say he's going to destroy them in front of you. So you'll be like, oh, I guess maybe we weren't supposed to go to Africa. Maybe they didn't know what they was talking about. You know, maybe it's another way we ought to be doing. Yeah, that's right. It is another way. The straight way by the door. That's the only way. That's the only way, brethren. Righteousness, virtue, fruits of the Ruach Kokadesh. That's the only way. The master make you like Zedekiah and Ahab, whom the king of Babylon roasted in the fire. Hold on. No, hold on. I skipped ahead real quick. Hold on. He said, and he shall kill them before your eyes. 22. On account of them, this curse shall be used by all the exiles from Yehuda and Babylon. The master make you like Zedekiah and Ahab, whom the king of Babylon roasted in the fire. Because they have, why they gonna roast in the fire? Because they have perpetrated. In the streets, they call it false claiming. I hear false claiming. They have perpetrated outrage in Yasharal and have committed adultery with their neighbors' wives. That's what these niggas doing. These niggas over here swipping and swapping and swipping. You know what I'm saying? You're over here defiling the beds of silly women. You know, I don't even know if you could defile the bed of a silly woman. She's a silly woman. It's defiled already. It's defiled because she in it. But, you know, this is what they doing. It's selfishness. It's fruits of the flesh at play in these types of people. Right? Fruits of the flesh is at play. Right? Committed adultery. They're sleeping with other men's wives, their neighbors' wives. And have spoken in my name lying words that I did not command them. I am the one who knows and bears witness, says the man. He said, I bear witness. I don't know these people. And ain't nobody else I can swear by but myself. I don't know these. And they lying to you in my name. Very dangerous place to be. And said, them people got roasted with the fire. So, you know, it's really something y'all not play with. Oh yeah. You there, bud? Okay. Get finished up. To Shemaiah and Nahalam, you shall say, thus says the master of hosts, the mighty one of Yasharal, in your own name. Ooh. In your own name, you sent the letter to all the people who are in Jerusalem and to the priest Zephaniah, son of Messiah, and to all the priests, saying, the master himself has made you priests instead of the priest Jehoiada, so that there may be officers in the house of the master to control any madman who plays the prophet, to put him in the stocks and the collar. So now, why have you not rebuked Jeremiah of Anathoth, who plays the prophet for you? For he has actually sent to us in Babylon, saying it will be a long time. Build houses and live in them, and plant gardens and to eat what they produce. They said Jeremiah sent to the people, telling them what the Most High told him. And these wicked people is saying, okay, the people rebuke certain prophets. They're like, well, why ain't you rebuke Jeremiah? Because he told you this. It's the same thing to this day. People want to know why y'all ain't rebuke people like me and my brother that's telling y'all things of the Most High. But the Most High is sending a judgment on them people that said that. He's sending a punishment on the people. This is what he's saying. Listen. For he actually sent to us in Babylon, saying it will be a long time, build houses and live in them, and plant gardens and eat what they produce. The priest Zephaniah read this letter in the hearing of the prophet it would be Yeremiah. Then the word of the master came to Yeremiah, send to all the exiles, saying, thus says the master concerning Shemaiah and Nehelam. These are the people that want to know, why ain't y'all rebuke Jeremiah for saying this? We promising you peace and prosperity. He promising you it's going to be a little longer. We telling you it's going to be a little longer because you got to get yourself together, right? No matter how long it is, you got to get yourself together. We're not promising you peace and prosperity just because. That's what a lot of people out here doing. You the seed, you the chosen seed. We the people. It's gonna be well with you. No, it's gonna be worse with you if you the people and you ain't got the characteristics he told you to have. It's gonna be worse to you first for it ever get to a Esau, Edomite, Gentile heathen. It's gonna be on you first, right? So same thing. Concerning Shemaiah and Nahalam, because Shemaiah has prophesied to you, though I did not send him, and has led trust and has led you to trust in a lie. Therefore says the master, I am going to punish Shemaiah and Nahalam and his descendants. He shall not have anyone living among this people to see good that I am going to do to my people, says the master, for he has spoken rebellion against the master. Told I, y'all. That is the end of that, brethren. That was a long one. Did y'all like it? Hit that like button. We've been having some people hit that like button. Told I, y'all. Hey. Shout out to Yahweh. A lot of meat on that bone. That's what the elders say all the time. And it's a very true statement in a lot of statements. Yahweh, Judges Yasharal. Shout out to Jackson. Let's say Jackson Rakundo. Okay. You sound like he over there in the land. Yahweh Israel, Taniqua, Monique Williams, Judges Yashara. I think y'all like it on different platforms and stuff too. I like it. Go ahead, hit like on Facebook, then go over to YouTube, hit like on that too. You know what I'm talking about? We like it. So, babe, Uriah, Yashara Yahoo. I know what she done. She fell asleep on me on the low. You think I don't know? I know. It's been revealed to me. Yeah, she's definitely asleep. Let's get her out of there. But anyway, shout out to all y'all, man. All praise to the Most High, y'all. Shabbat Shalom. Now to those of you that know about such a thing. Hope you've been edified. Hope you got some from this lesson. It was definitely very, very powerful, even upon me. You know what I'm saying? I spoke a lot of things that was pressed upon me to say. You know, put a plate in front of me, I'm gonna eat it. You know, you put certain understandings and stuff. I prayed about this beforehand to get these understandings, to get this knowledge. And all praises to the Most High y'all for giving it. Right. So that's what we got for today, man. It's been the what we got here. No, that ain't how it go. It ain't working. I'm trying to show you the backdrop. There we go. It's been the Lunar Solar Shabbat Scripture Study, the reading of the books of Baruch chapter 1 through 3 and Jeremiah chapter 29, talking about the mindset of the Israelites in the captivity. If you are late and just joining us, go back and look at the previous ones. Look at the video from its beginning, right? If you got any shekels, Holler at your boy. If not, it's fine. We're gonna go forth irregardless, but we don't look a gift horse in the mouth over here. We put them in the barn. Okay. So just in case you have one, there's that. And then hit that like button. Okay. Hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe, follow, all that old tube stuff. All right. So what we doing. We out here with it. So all praise to the Most High. May His word go forth and not come back void. May it pierce your ears, your heart, your mind, your soul, and bring forth living waters, bring forth edification, bring forth abundance in your life and in the lives of all of those in whom you encounter and impact. May you be a river of living waters spewing out unto all of those about you. Pray for the healing of all of those who are sick, for the strengthening of all of those who are weak, and the freeing of all of those who are captive. In the name of Yahushua Mashiach, we pray and we say, so be it. Torah Rabbah, Abba Yah. So shalom, shalom to the brethren, 12 tribes, one nation. Hallelujah.